Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you are having a great week. As usual, I'm back for another long-term review. You know that I don't like to do reviews without testing my stuff for a good amount of time. This one in particular, I've had for almost a year, which is the Strength Co. plates. I am a I mean huge, made in the USA fan. Pretty much everything I have is made in the USA. If I can buy USA, I will. In this review, as usual, I will have the chapters in the description so you could skip around if you'd like. So let's get to the review now and not waste any more time. So with some of these videos I do, I believe it really means a lot to talk about the company as a whole overall before I talked about the main review. I'm not going to go over all of this information here because you can definitely take a look there. I will have a link down in the description. But I'm just going to talk just like a little bit about the overall history about, and he was in the Marines. So, of course, anybody that's in the service, thank you so much for your service. They do have a gym in Greenville, South Carolina, which was opened in 2023. If you've seen anything on Instagram or YouTube from Grant or whatever, he can be pretty intense and building the strength up. This is the part too, like the company overall was opened in 2020 to bring back manufacturing into the United States, which I think is a really awesome thing. They're located in Wisconsin, and they're one of the largest foundries in America. So I'm not sure a lot of people actually knew that. And before I bought the plates, I didn't know that either. Um, and for me, I'm talking about it. This is going to be kind of a theme throughout. Is American-made gym equipment is really important to me. It's important to Grant, as you can see here by looking at the screen. And that for me is like definitely the one thing kind of what I want to hit on point here, that this is an American made company. It started in 2020 and I've had the plates for about a year now, and it's been nothing but great experiences. So now you could see up on my screen, I'll put it over here, the Strength Co website. I'm going to talk about the specs and the pricing. Yes, the pricing is not the cheapest out there, but it's also not the most expensive. But these are quality plates made in the USA, as I've mentioned a couple of times, and they are not unreasonable for what you get based on my experience of almost having them for a year. I'm going to scroll down here and then you can see the actual diameters of them and the widths of them. So interesting thing is the 100 and the 45 are the same diameter. As you would expect, the width is going to be a little bit more for the 100 versus the 45, just because of the extra poundage that's actually in there. Anything that is a 45, 35, Basement Brandon, and 25s are the same exact width, which is kind of nice. The diameter, of course, as you would expect to be the same. The other thing too about these particular plates is, and I'm going to change the picture here and make it a little bit bigger so you can see it up on the screen. All of these plates have the same type of style. When you're looking at competitors, which we'll talk about in a future section, they all don't match. I like everything to match, as I've kind of talked about. So these particular plates all look the same all the way down to the 2.5s, which to me, that's a super important thing. The other thing too is if you want to buy them a la carte, you can definitely do that. But this is another important point for me. I think that a lot of people need to know. These sets that they actually put together make sense. So if anybody was to look about, oh, what plate should I get? How many of this should I get? How many of this should I get? They already pretty much did it for you. So the set that, for me, that's actually a good starter set, of course, is the 175 pounds. You get two 45s, two 25s, two 10s, two 5s, and two 2.5s. That will sustain you for a new lifter a decent amount of time. You will outgrow that particular set, but if you're just going to go to the bare bones and hey, this is what kind of plates do I need, you could just get the 175 pound set And then for some reason, if you want to add on to them later, you could get more 45s and you could probably get some more 10s. Honestly, for me, the best value if you were to buy now is the 285 pound set. I think that that one is the best one to get. Yes, it is more money. You do get 4 45s and you get the 25s, but you do get a couple extra 10s, which I believe are completely useful. They are useful. I use the 10s quite a bit because I do not have 35s. And then you have the twos, 2.5s, and the 5s in there. So all in all, there is the specs and the pricing. We will talk about sales moving forward in another section, but great company, great specs, really well thought out. And there you go. So now that we got all the specs and the pricing out of the way based on the website, I just kind of want to show you real life what it looks like on camera and just go over some of the features of this and if you didn't know. So it does have a textured feature here. It's not smooth at all. It's actually kind of nice when you pick it up and lift it up and carry it around. It just doesn't slip out of your fingers, even if you're kind of sweaty. It really provides a very good grip. The inside here where the lip is at to carry them around is nice as well. Like they're not as small as some plates, but I think it's just about right to get your hand in here. As you've seen, as I've been going through, I've been putting some pictures up here. Let me just turn the plate on the side here. As you would expect, the outer rim here is very smooth. I really don't see a whole lot of blemishes from using them, but I'm not sure what you would unless you drop them on the ground on something. And then on the back here, this is textured also, so it does have a nice grippy feel. And then I've been using these for the last year just about, at an average, 4 times a week. And you could see here, when I put the picture up there, there is a little bit of discolorization from me using them. And then also too, inside of the hole here, it has chipped off some of the coating. Well, yes, I do use these, so I'm expecting some little bit of wear and tear. But for the entire year of using these, this is it. This is just really great durability for me, and I'm super, super happy. Also too, inside here, it would be expected that I would have a little bit of coating come off because I do have the Rogue Ohio power bar that's stainless and chrome sleeves, and the sleeves are actually ribbed. So it's going through, the rib sleeves are, yeah, anyways, I'm not going to go there, but overall, I mean, this is a great plate. You could see like real world use of this. I already talked about the specs and the pricing. And then in this next section, I'm going to talk a little bit about on bar and just what it looks like. Hey, I bet you didn't expect me to be this close to you. So I'm going to talk about the tolerances with the plate on the bar here, just so you get a really good idea of just how they fit. I mean, they fit super tight most of the time, to be quite honest. I don't even use clamps because they ain't going anywhere. So let me just stand up here real quick. I got the other one on the other side. I'm going to put the plate on my Ohio power bar here, and I'm going to put it right at the end just so it doesn't fall off. As you know, I do all my filming with my iPhone, so I'm going to try to get in here as close as possible. There is no gap whatsoever, and this is the wear that I was talking about within a whole year of using these plates. So I'm going to go over here real quick. So you can see I put both of the plates on the bar, but I'm going to show you an example of just how tight that they are. So I'm going to take this side right here off of the monolift, and then we're looking at a good 7, 8, 10 inches here. I'm just going to start lifting this up, and then it hasn't even moved yet. Hasn't moved yet. It's starting to move. So I have to raise the bar about this high above the other side to get the plate to start moving. So when I said the tolerances were tight, they are definitely tight. This is something that's really important to me because I don't want to always have to lift with clamps, especially lifting by myself. So I know there's a lot of strongmen out there and a lot of people that like bumpers and the Rogue deep dish, which I like. I mean, I get it. I'm a Rogue person, as you can tell, but I like these because of the dimensions. We already talked about that. So currently right now I have 445s on each side, so 405 pounds if I did my maths correct. And you can see how much space is left on the bar. I have my tape measure here, and trust me, it is 11 inches left. So all 4 plates is about 5 inches total for all 4 plates. So if I put another 4 plates on here, oh yeah, I'm not going to do the math in my head, but another 5 inches here is going to get me to here. So I would have 8 plates on each side. That's another beauty of these plates as well. They don't take a lot of space up on the bar, which for some people, it actually matters because these are so thin and so nice. If you do lift that much, these are the plates to get. So like most of my reviews, I do talk about competition. So these plates, and when I was considering these plates, I was looking at the Rogue deep dish. I love Rogue stuff. I have a Rogue hat on right now, of course. And these plates are also made in the USA. But there was a couple reasons that I went with the Strength Co versus the Rogues. Some of them I talked about a little bit earlier was they all match, and I like the texture on the back. So then because I've seen reviews of them kind of getting beat up on the deep dish. You know, the Rogues actually end up being a little bit cheaper than the Strength Co. unless you wait for the Black Friday, which is buy more, just get a little bit of a discount off of that. So it ends up being just about basically the same. So kind of look out for that. The plates, though, if you kind of compare the two, there's a big difference in thickness. So with the deep dish, as you can imagine, there's more to hold on to. Yeah. And they are 2.95 inches thick. And if I just kind of go back over here versus the 45s of 1.25 inches. So 1.25 versus 2.95. It's a big, big difference for the thickness of them, but that just makes sense because they're the old school, old style deep dish. They're really cool. They're really easy. Anybody that has significant strength should consider that, because if you have a lot on the bar, which I've kind of, which I'll talk about, it makes a big difference because that extra 1.3 or 4 inches, I'm just doing on top of my head there, makes a big difference over time. Also, to think about your storage element of it, they take up more when you put them on a plate holder or wherever you store them, and that makes a big difference as well. But when we're looking at the pricing, if we're just looking at 45s in general, those are $180 without shipping. If I go back over to Strength Co's and I scroll down to the 45s there, they're $195. So that does not include the shipping either. So all in all, you are going to pay a little bit less with the Rogues outside of the Black Friday sale that Strength Co does have. So these are great plates. The Strength Co's are great plates. I just wanted the different feel, the different texture, and honestly, the great looking plates that are not going to look beat up, because I do know some people that I know that have the Rogue plates that the back just looks terrible after a while. I don't think it's really that big of a deal, to be honest, at the end of the day, but having that extra texture on the back as well as the tolerances really makes a big difference. And that, for me, makes a huge difference on why I ended up buying them versus the Rogue deep dish. Also too, if you look at the sets make more sense at the Strength Co versus the Rogue sets, because I don't see really any sets here that include like 5 pounds, 2.5 pounds. They don't even have 2.5 pound plates, and they are all in stock now from 5 and up, but that hasn't necessarily been the case in a long time for Rogue. The 5 pound plates have been always out of stock. When I ended up purchasing them as well, I looked here and I couldn't even get any 5.5 pounds, and I wanted 2.5s, right? So I ended up buying the set over there because that made more sense, and it does make a lot more sense. So all in all, this is the biggest competition to the Strength Co and vice versa. Do I think you could go wrong with either one? No, absolutely not. I think it depends on what form factor you want, as well as if you want the texture or not, and if you really like the deep dish, which I don't think it's that big of a deal because the Strength Co does have a really nice grip on it, and it's not minimal by any means. So I don't know if you all know, but Strength Co does have a new product. I didn't realize it for like a month or so, and I don't think the marketing is really out there on this, but they do now have bumper plates. So as you can see up here on the screen, I do have the bumper plates up here. They do look a lot like the chrome plates that you would get like at Rogue Fitness or whatever. If they're anything like the Strength Co plates that I have, they are really probably very good and made to really great spec. If I had some, I would definitely review them and give you my honest opinion about them. I mean, you can see up on the screen here, the main set starts at 399 pounds, which includes 445s, 225s, and 210s. You're not going to really get any fives, of course, when you're doing bumper plate stuff or Olympic lifting. That just really isn't a thing. I think that's pretty well spec'd for what you're going to get with these. I'm not going to really go into the specifics here. I will put the picture up here of the bumper plate specs. You know, it's just a typical what we would talk about. The width is 3.6 inches, so you know it's a little bit more, of course, than you know your typical iron plate, but that's just the normal for bumpers. So just a quick hit here about the bumpers and everything you want to know about the particular plates. Of course, they're going to be up to spec, and that's just not like an unusual thing from what I've experienced with this particular brand. And then if you want to watch a video of Grant here, you can definitely see that. So, so far the reviews have been pretty good. There's not a whole lot of reviews on there, but they basically just came out. And I talked to him on the phone today about these plates a little bit, and he said that they're just doing a little bit more marketing stuff, and they're going to talk about them more in advance. But I thought it's good to mention this because if you want another option for bumper plates, this is a really good option. So it's not Black Friday yet, but they typically do one sale a year. On the screen here, this is last year, it's not this year. They don't have their special out for this year, but this is typically what they would do. So if you're looking to purchase them and you're like thinking, I want a little bit of a discount, they do. So last year, remember in 2022, they did buy 500, get $50 off, buy 750, get $75, buy $1,000, get 150, and so on. So I just want to mention this because they do a sale once a year, and it is close to Black Friday. They will be releasing that deal probably in a couple weeks, I would think. I'm not sure. I'm not privy to the information, but that's just my guess. But I just want to show you 2022 deal just so you get a good idea of probably what 2023 deal would be like as well. So there you have it. There's my detailed review of the Strength Co plates. I really do love them, as you can kind of tell. If I had a chance to buy them again for the first time, I would not hesitate. You definitely should not as well if you are on the edge of which ones to pick. My experience has been really great over the last year. The other thing too, as I mentioned in my intro, they are USA made, which is important to me. I try to buy pretty much everything that's USA made. Almost all the Rogue stuff that I have bought, well, I think like 99% of it is made in the USA. It's important to me. This company as well is veteran owned, which makes a lot of difference to me. I want to support the veterans out there, and anything I can do to support USA and veterans, I will definitely do my best to do that. If I was in the market for some bumper plates, I would probably go with some Strengthcos as well, because I don't technically need any bumper plates, but I've been kind of looking at some just for, deadlifts, etc. A couple other things. But I think that they would, if it's anything like this product, it's going to be a great product. So, in short, if you're in the market, definitely give these a really good consideration. I'm not affiliated at all. I don't have any affiliate links in any of my stuff at this point in time. Maybe I should. But I really believe in reviewing stuff that I've been using exclusively for a little bit, not just a week, and giving you my general opinions, even though I have first impression videos, but this is the long-term video. So thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed by now, please do so, because I'm going to be putting out some more content. And I guess like the video because it helps out the YouTube algorithm or whatever, because I would like to get my videos out to additional people as well. So thanks again for tuning in. You all have a great rest of your day.